You know, it's funny. Devil May Cry 5 has kind of like a bunch of bosses all clustered together at the end. So missions 17 through 20 are mostly kind of short. This is the last proper mission, you could say, in which you go through an area, fight a bunch of enemies, and a boss happens at the end. So, our last proper mission is as Dante. We do have one more mission as Nero at the end of this, but it's kind of a gimme boss fight. Like, it's not even it's not even really the true final boss. It's more of a ceremonial cutscene boss than anything, because
victory lap.
Yeah, because it's so much easier than Dante's fight with Vergil. Anyway, what am I doing? Why am I going back into the story? I'm like, yeah, I completely forgot to buy any moves for double Kalina Ann. Oops.
So now you have 2 rocket launchers.
Yes. Now, the dual rocket launchers are interesting. Once you have both rocket launchers, they take up one weapon slot on their own, which you might think means that you lose access to single Kalina Ann moves, but you don't. If you go into Gunslinger, you can hold the style button to drop one of your rocket launchers and switch over to a single. And then you can pick up the second rocket launcher again by just going over there to pick up the one that you dropped. But Dante, being half demon, can just sling a rocket launcher under his arm, apparently, and fire it one-handed. I mean, you know, I suppose superheroes can do that.
I mean, if you want to be extra about it.
The dual-wielding rocket launcher's main advantage is that its firing rate is a lot faster than the single rocket launcher, because he can alternate between them. Damn it, V. So, the double rocket launchers can absolutely destroy enemies. And they put all these tentacles here. It's like, yeah, you want to try your dual rocket launchers?
Do we have the targets for you?
Oh, hey guys, it's been a while.
Hey guys, where you been? I thought you went back into Vergil. You're gonna wish you did.
Oh, so these guys are a boss fight. Oh, that's
Yep.
neat. That's a neat, like, little twist I wouldn't have expected.
Come to think of it, I did know something was off. Just like with my old.
So, Dante did not make the connection between all these DMC1 enemies and Vergil. Although, you know, to be fair, Griffin and Nightmare look very different, and it has been a couple decades.
Is it canonically decades between DMC1 and the
I might be exaggerating, but one thing that we do have a timeline on is actually the DMC anime, namely Patty's age. She's 18 as of Devil May Cry 5. That little fan service phone call at the during Dante's office cutscene doesn't just serve as continuity fan service. It also serves to tell us that there's been a good few years since the anime, because she was still a kid there.
Well, this is about as well as a little bird against 2 double rocket launchers was going as well as I thought.
Yeah,
I do like they do bring back Flock Off Featherface from DMC1 for Griffin, because that was one of my favorite themes.
Yeah, well, it almost seems like a cheap reference at this point, since Bayonetta did it too. For some reason, shooting a downed enemy with Ebony and Ivory in Gunslinger mode just feels like bullying to me.
I don't know, like, Ebony and Ivory, what the fuck was that pronunciation? Ebony and Ivory, to me, is at its most satisfying when I'm juggling an enemy in midair with it. Like, don't let them hit the ground. Basically, the entire strategy of DMC2.
Well, in DMC2, the reason it was broken wasn't just because of that. It was also because shooting them when they were on the ground could juggle them upwards, too.
Yeah, that's why I say that's the go-to strategy of DMC2.
Yeah.
Get them in the air and keep them there. With what? Bullets. Bullets.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, because of the way the gun physics worked in DMC, you didn't just juggle the enemy when you shot them, you also knocked them upward with each hit.
Yeah.
Which, like, in all the other DMC games, you have to at least try to keep the enemy in the air when you're juggling them with bullets, because they won't go up. They will actually steadily go down if you let up for even a moment. In DMC2, nah, every bullet knocks them upward. It's like Tekken juggling if every move was an uppercut.
One detail that I kind of forgot about, because I was watching my friend Eric play the first Devil May Cry about a couple weeks ago, time of this recording. I completely forgot that like the grenade launcher in that game was also just categorically the best way to build up Devil Trigger gauge. Has that ever been the case with any other game after the first one? Like, does the Kalina and build up DT like better than the others?
I don't think so.
All right, if that can't be answered now, it's more of a question for the comments, because it's just something I just remembered like watching him play in that.
DMC2?
DMC1.
Specific DMC1? Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the grenade launcher was just the best way of building up Devil Trigger gauge, because it just, for some reason, just gave you like 2-3 runes worth of a gauge when you used it at like point blank range.
I think the only determining factor for how much Devil Trigger you got was damage output.
Yeah.
And since guns in DMC1 were actually tuned to do quite a bit of damage on their own, it never really like you could fire your guns and get plenty of DT that way, but you could also get plenty of damage just using your guns as well. Like, it was absolutely a viable strategy to just spam the rocket launcher at things. You could win that way.
Yeah.
It was slow and clunky as hell, and you would win a lot faster if you mixed in some melee, but, you know, it was viable.
I know we were talking, I mean, the reason why you probably wouldn't do that if you like did give a shit about your ranking to some form of capacity, like you want to keep it at least above A. But was there ever a game outside of DMC that had a ranking system where you just, I don't care. Like, I rather play it safe and sorry rather than trying to be optimal.
It depends on the game I'm playing and how far into it, because there are plenty of games where I just don't stop caring about my
The orb has the hat. Anyway, what were you saying, Seth? I'm sorry.
There are plenty of games, like, when I get late into a game and I just want to finish it, like, I'll just fucking be done. I'll just be like, okay, whatever. I don't give a shit anymore. I'll just go for whatever's gonna get me to win at this point. I was playing through Pikmin 4 again not too long ago, and I had the frickin' Trial of the Sage Leaf, I think is what it's called. It's the one where you find the dude in the base, and he's the one who like has the big long dungeon with all the obnoxious trials in it.
Yeah.
And then I get to the one where you have to throw the purple Pikmin at the jumping enemies and the baby bulb orbs, and it's fucking impossible, and I hate it. And it was just like, I was going for a complete 100% playthrough, but at that point, I was like, okay, I'm done. No thanks. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. I'm good.
It's weird how Pikmin has like some of the most brutal challenges in Nintendo, all things considered.
So the weird thing about Pikmin 4 is that it's like the game for the most part's pretty damn easy. Like, it's the easiest game in the series by a long shot, except for going for platinums in that one dungeon, which is obnoxious in like the complete other scale of difficulty. It's like,
I'm also talking about like water race stuff where
it'll
just ruin your life.
Oh yeah. Oh, the final boss of Pikmin 3 as well is like also really just kind of a Pikmin killer. Like, you can go through the whole game deathless, and it's just like, oh well, 150 guys just died. Oops. Oh god, we're still in this stupid tree. Oh man.
Yes.
This is like the one thing about the game that I'm not huge on, and it's how much is in this one.
I mean, it's like it's the central area of the plot. Like, that's unfortunately like why we're here so often.
I mean, it's a neat storytelling device, and I'm sure like it's symbolic in a lot of cool ways and whatnot. And like, this would be a cool final area.
I mean, it is the final area.
It was also the middle area and also the beginning area too.
To be fair, I do like the atmosphere of these final areas because we're outside the tree technically.
True enough, yeah. At least we can see the sky.
We're up in the sky because the tree is so high up.
Can Dante breathe in space?
Huh?
Can Dante breathe in space?
Or is he like Invincible, where you just hold his breath for a really long time?
Is that the actual excuse in Invincible? Is that he can just hold his breath for? Oh,
That's where the meme comes from. That's the neat part. You don't.
It's also the excuse in Final Fantasy X. Hey, the best blitzers can hold their breath like forever.
How? Shut up.
Wait, so then how do they deal with the freezing to death part?
Well, I mean, if they can enter like the seventh circle of hell just fine, what's to say they can't survive the polar opposite temperature?
Oh, I was talking about Invincible. I have not actually watched Invincible.
Invincible. I mean, you generate your own heat.
Oh, okay.
And Viltrums are made of sterner stuff.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like why you don't just immediately pop upon going into space because you generate your own pressure as well.
I mean,
you have your own internal pressure. Sorry.
Well, I mean, you have your own internal pressure on the inside, but that pressure is also pushing out. So
yeah, if you go into a low enough pressure environment, your internal body pressure will cause you to just pop like a balloon.
Eventually, yes, but you don't do that immediately.
Okay. I do need to watch Invincible. Unfortunately, I know the plot twist, so...
That's not a big deal, because that's literally revealed in the first episode.
What, about the dad being...
Yeah. That's literally episode 1. So I will say nothing else. So you if you decide to watch it, I hope you like it, because I love Invincible.
No, it seems really good, but like it's just one of those things where it's just like, oh, I know what happens. Oh man.
That's episode 1.
That's episode 1. You know nothing.
I know nothing. Ooh,
yes.
Okay. I did read like a tiny bit of the book of the comic when I was working at the bookstore, and the comic was okay. But I'll try it. It's also just nice to know that, like, people forget that not JJ. I was almost going to call him JJ. A lot of people forget that J.K. Simmons has a ton of range, because a lot of people just associate him with memes. But no, dude's a really damn good.
No, he's a phenomenal actor.
Man, every time I think of people popping in space air, lack of air pressure, my mind just flashes back to that one Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Total Recall.
Yes.
Yeah, towards the ending when they bring the atmosphere back to Mars.
Funny how I keep recalling Total Recall, but you know. It's almost as funny as how I keep forgetting Remember Me.
God damn it, Dante. Get your ass back to Mars.
I can't wait for the Devil May Cry movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger as Dante.
Well, God.
And Chris Pratt as Nero.
Why did you cast Arnold Schwarzenegger as Dante when Agnes is right there?
No, I like Arnold Schwarzenegger as Dante.
Nah, I can't picture it.
Jackpot.
You have Arnold Schwarzenegger as Dante, Chris Pratt's Nero, and then Jack Black as Vergil.
So does Minecraft fit.
I am Vergil.
Allow me to craft the Yamato.
You know, I hesitate to say it, but Jack Black might be able to pull off a better Vergil than whoever it was they got to do the Vergil voice in the Netflix show.
Is the Netflix DMC show any good?
I haven't watched it. I don't think I'm going to at this point.
I haven't had time to watch it yet, even though I do have a Netflix subscription. That's just how busy I am. But I've heard go ahead.
I was going to say, the only thing I've heard about it is that it's a good show. It's a bad Devil May Cry adaptation.
Well, I mean, I'm not even sure what a good Devil May Cry adaptation would look like, to be honest. It's one of those series where there's not a lot in the games that can be directly adapted.
Honestly, the way you would if you cut out all of the, like, if you take a Devil May Cry game leave in all the cutscenes and boss fights, and then like cut out all of the in between walking and stuff, it's pretty much already a movie.
I mean, it's already a half-hour television episode, a single one. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
But like what I've heard is that it kind of does a similar thing to the Castlevania show, where there's a lot of additional stuff involving the expanded cast and world. But the problem that I seem to like see from what I've heard secondhand is that there isn't as much to work with in Devil May Cry to make that stuff interesting. So it's not like the Castlevania adaptation where you might be disappointed in the show if you were expecting a straight adaptation of a Belmont walking through the castle and fighting a bunch of demons for 12 episodes for some reason. But you know,
it's almost like that wouldn't be a super engaging show.
But
wow,
but you know, there's at least enough material to craft an engaging story that makes sense for the franchise because of its connection to, you know, historical Earth.
There's also a good 30 Castlevania games or whatnot to pull from.
Yeah,
and, like a lot of interconnecting stuff, and you can like flesh out a lot of because that's the one thing. Castlevania has a lot of not as fleshed out characters versus Devil May Cry has fewer, more fleshed out characters.
Well, yeah, like the first Castlevania show, you know, it wasn't just Castlevania 3, it was also Curse of Darkness being very loosely adapted. So, you know, there was a pretty large cast of characters to draw from there, even if a lot of liberties were taken with like Saint Germain or Hector. God, there were a lot of Isaac barely resembles Isaac.
For the better.
Yeah, and Hector barely resembles Hector. Don't say for the better or the fandom will kill you for some reason.
For the better.
I mean, I think it's for the better, but the fandom will still kill you because somehow a contingent
I do
of the
not
Castlevania...
I do not fear all two of Curse of Darkness fan base.
Oh, you'd be surprised how many people think that the Netflix show ruined Hector. I don't get it, but and I have played Curse of Darkness.
in the show.
Hector is the white-haired...
It's been a long time since I watched it, so
he's the white-haired Forge Master, the guy who gets imprisoned by Carmilla.
I think I remember. It's been a number of years.
He poked that body with thingy and make them demon.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Now I remember.
Isaac in the show was the bald black Forge Master who has a whole character arc where he embarks on the road to becoming a villain, but then has an epiphany and doesn't become a villain.
I do remember him. I thought he was one.
Yeah, because he was like the best character in the show, I would argue.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, let me see. Hector, he looks a lot more like his original game counterpart, but his personality is completely different. And like, there is more to game Hector than you find just in the game. The problem is that a lot of his most interesting stuff is in a prequel manga that isn't part of the game. So if you play just Curse of Darkness, what you are getting is Angry Man on Vengeance Quest, which is like, okay, there's not a whole lot unique to this character. Isaac just seems like Discount Kuja to me. Like, but you know, both characters do have a bit more going on in the extended lore of the prequel manga and shit. So it's not like they're complete non-characters. It's just like...
Hold on, can we take a moment to talk about the Bruce Lee yata that Dante just shouted out in my ear?
Hey, you watch a lot of martial art flicks.
Like, I know, it's just... that was just not something I was expecting.
Well, I suppose we did skip Devil May Cry 4.
3.
Well, specifically 4 is what I wanted to bring up, because in 4, when you get the Gauntlet Weapon Gilgamesh, his intro cutscene is him doing Bruce Lee shit to destroy the Demon Gate, complete with a 1-inch punch. You know? So, the Bruce Lee sounds that he's making are sounds that he's made before. It's totally in character.
Okay. I mean, I think it's
fucking
definitely
nerd.
a character for Dante to be a freaking Bruce Lee dork.
Bruce Lee, Michael Jackson, whatever the hell he was doing with Lucifer. And also Kiss.
Do you know any modern celebrities, Dante? I'm old Nero.
That is true. Dante would be like, look, I got one of these Walkmans like all you kids.
Walkmans. He's still rocking a record player jukebox. Come on.
I know, that's why he thinks that the Walkman is something that those kids have.
I mean, I shouldn't rag on Dante too much for the jukebox. Even Nero has a jukebox.
Listen, having a real jukebox in your house, that would be pretty freaking sweet.
In your house, that would be pretty freaking sweet. For some reason, Nero and Nico keep their jukebox in the fucking van, which is the worst place to have a record player, for the record.
Oh, you guys don't remember? Like he says, it's time to get this party started. Then he winds up his gramophone.
Did Nero's radio break and that was the only option he had available was to put a whole record?
Well, I mean, he does have a radio in the van too, because he's listening to the news on the radio in the opening cutscene. But he has a jukebox in the back of the van. And I'm just like, you don't want to have a record player device in a moving vehicle. You especially do not want to be using a record player device in a moving vehicle while it's moving. You're going to scratch your records up.
In a moving vehicle while it's moving.
It's the equivalent of putting an Xbox 360 in the back of your van and telling your kids to go wild with it, you know? You're going to halo
in the air,
all,
let it land on the floor.
You're going to halo all your discs.
That is true. One time I took, when I was going to visit my dad's family in Pennsylvania, because we went every summer, I knew that one of my cousins had a Wii. So I brought a bunch of my Wii discs in the car with us, just so that we could play some of those games together while we were there.
big
and
mistake.
Even just traveling in the car that long scratched some of them. And so now, if you try to play as Zero Suit Samus on my copy of Brawl, the game freezes.
Oops.
I don't know why it's specifically Zero Suit Samus, but that sure is a character I'm not allowed to play.
It's because points of data on a CD correlate to specific parts of the disc, So the data that gets damaged or is harder to read depends on what part of the disc got scratched.
I also believe Brawl had a specific kind of coding on it because it had more data than the average Wii game. So
it was double layered.
Yeah, so it's more fragile than the average Wii game as well.
That's also why it took forever to load.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot that Super Smash Bros. Brawl took like a half an hour to load anything. Oh, man. I don't miss that.
Trying to compete with Blu-ray on a DVD system was just never going to happen. But, here we are, the boss fight of Mission 17, fighting all three of these demons at once. And the moves they use against you are all moves that V uses, whether you bought them or not. It would be kind of sick if you could just make this boss way easier by neglecting V's moveset.
That'd be some shit, yeah.
Hey, you just make the rest of the game way harder.
The laser cannon. I love it. I don't know why Nico designed the replacement rocket launcher to combine with the rocket launcher that she knew full well was lost and probably destroyed to become a fucking laser cannon.
Just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So quick question. DLC, regular Vergil is a DLC character in this game.
What
right?
the fuck, Nightmare?
It was a spinning lariat.
How much of the game do you get to play as regular Vergil?
When you play as Vergil, you play literally every mission as Vergil. It was the same in 3 and 4 as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
he's the only character.
So there's no story explanation for why Vergil would be fighting Vergil's friends here.
No.
No.
All right. That's fine. I was just curious.
The only awkward thing about playing as Vergil is that instead of fighting Nero as the final boss in Mission 20, you just fight Dante again, which is, a bit weak.
I think the only difference is like the difficulty's like maxed out for it. Like you're fighting Dante at full power.
Yeah, so you fight a harder version of Dante right after you already beat Dante. It's it's a little weak. I guess they didn't want to program a Nero boss fight, which, to be fair, how do you program the Devil Bringer into a boss fight without it being really fucking annoying?
Yoink.
I mean, you have him switch arms and do different moves depending on which arm he has.
No, that's the Devil Breaker. I'm talking about the Devil Bringer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because by that point in the story, he gets his arm back.
Oh, okay.
It's like, I'm pretty sure that the Devil Bringer is like the only thing you wouldn't be able to like counter in any significant way. Like maybe Dante could Royal Guard it to block the arm, because Vergil can block the arm with his sword. But like they didn't give you a Nero boss fight, which is awkward.
Well, that functionally makes him the only character that there's no boss fight against, then.
Yeah.
Because you could effectively call this the V boss fight.
Yes. I mean, V himself isn't here, which actually makes the boss fight harder than it would be if you were actually fighting V.
You think so? Because V himself can't do anything.
Yeah, I know.
Well, yeah, that's the idea. You gang up on the crippled kid until he dies and ignore these guys.
Jeez,
Yeah.
what a prick.
If you were fighting V, like, one-on-one, the way to beat him would actually be to...
Take his cane.
Oh! I just pulled off the instant transformation, I think.
Yeah,
or
but so
maybe-
there was no animation.
Yeah, it might be that the camera just didn't revolve around me because of where I was. I might be completely wrong about that.
If you do the transformation twice in the same fight, do you still get the animation?
Yes.
Okay.
The only way to skip the animation is to do a particularly skill-intensive, like, I forget how it works, but you can do a quick transformation that skips the animation and gives you a few seconds without any meter drain. And the idea there is to bounce in and out of the transformation so you can use your super-powered Sin Devil Trigger moves without actually losing any meter, and deal a bunch of damage in addition to your normal combos. It is the pro tech as Dante, but I don't know how to do it. I'm not even sure I'm explaining it right. In Devil May Cry 3, the pro tech was to hold the Devil Trigger button until your meter got all double colored, and then when you transformed into Devil Trigger, you'd do a shockwave move that did a bunch of damage to everything around you.
Like, it was insane how much it fucking hurt.
Yeah. Oh, here comes Nightmare again.
Time to end this.
Yep. There's V's cane in the background, by the way.
Oh, hey, look at that.
Apparently that's what's powering his demons right now.
Would be some shit if Nightmare could still drag you into like a different dimension. You have to do boss rush again.
No. No. You just see Phantom looming over you, and then next to you, Bayonetta from Bayonetta 3 is just like looking at you with her hands on her glasses, like, wrong game, honey. And there it goes.
I'm gonna say, and that's that.
Like how you get to the bottom of the health bar, and all three of the demons, no matter which one you hit to finish them, just all flop to the ground at once.
Good heart, but you're about as sharp as a marble.
Perhaps.
Sure.
But if you had even
I do like this semi-flippant but respectful farewell Dante gives to Griffin, because he realizes that Griffin was genuinely a friend to Vergil.
this is our final flight. And the end of Virgil's nightmare.
You can kind of see it on his face here. It's like he finally like sort of realizes what these demons are and what they meant to Vergil.
Rest in peace, little chicken. It's been a bash.
That is about as somber as Dante ever gets, to be honest.
Also hits a
Trying,
particular
at least.
different note too, because again the voice actor of Griffin did pass away after this game.
Oh, did he? Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, that's a buzzkill.
What a scene transition.
Must go faster. Must go faster.
Where's Dante? He's got this. We gotta go.
The Clive off T-Rex.
Guy Vergil. Know him? Vaguely, yes.
I like how Trish only says vaguely because, like, she only knew Vergil as Nilo Angelo, so.
His logic is sound. I had a hunch myself.
This doesn't make any sense.
I know you hate Virgil, but you can't kill your own
Why not?
How are you able to throw this hissy fit, Nero, without losing your balance in this bumpy-ass car that's driving downhill?
You saved us. You should be proud. Now you can put all this behind you.
Go stop the car.
Stop the car?
After all this, are you insane?
First off, it's a van.
Fine. I'll go by myself.
If she stops the car, she falls into a bottomless pit. Like, it's literally right behind the car. What do you think? What are you trying to say, Nero? Come on.
I think after all the shit the van has been through the entire game and what Nico can do with it to get to areas otherwise impossible to traverse to.
What, she's just gonna ride some of the goddamn debris and then drive up the tree? It's like Advent children fighting, except in a van. I am your Uber driver. I will deliver this pair. Anyway, next part 19 is the final part, because guess what? Missions 19 and 20 are just boss fights against Vergil. The same boss fight against Vergil has two different characters, so they're both really fucking short. We get to squeeze them both into one part. Plus credits.
Yay.
Yeah.
So, we will end this playthrough next time. Have a good day, everybody.